Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of the BWF1 podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Las Vegas Grand Prix and the upcoming penultimate race at Qatar. We will bring you our takes on who needs to perform as well as our race and qualifying predictions.
Previously at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Verstappen clinches his 4th world title in a row.
It's class.
Absolute class!
He's been best all year in the best car. Not even the best car. It was the best car for the first half. 4 races or so. Yeah. And he had a DNF in that as well. So to really be he's been that consistent all year. He's been quicker than Lando, and Lando's in a better car. Yeah. He's shown much more maturity than Lando. He's just been the much better driver. Yeah. And I think with this being Lando's first title fight, I think he's learning a lot from it, but you can't put him up against Max. But
Max has
to win 3 in a row and then go out and win it in the 3rd fastest car.
Yeah. And also Max just has that experience that Lando just doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Russell and Mercedes dominate with a 1-2. Pretty impressive given we haven't seen them most of the year.
Bit of a flashback to Spa, really. But
just hoping that
dominant 1-2. Russell, he was amazing. No one looked like he could be touched.
Yeah.
He was just so much quicker than everybody else. It was and they were quick in practice, quick in quali.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of a shock to everyone.
Yeah.
They've just come out here and been that good.
Yeah. Zhou Guanyu gets out of Q1.
This isn't really a thing to talk about, but for someone who qualified 20th in the previous 6 races in a row to this Grand Prix, he goes and gets 13th in quali. And not to mention, he got 13th in the race.
Yeah.
So he held his position.
Yeah.
That's been his second best race all year, behind that one in Bahrain where he grabbed 11th.
Yeah.
It just shows 13th is a great race.
Yeah.
For him and Sauber.
Yeah.
That's how bad they've been all year.
Yeah. Haas get ahead of Alpine with a magnificent P8 from Hülkenberg.
Well, less about Haas and Alpine. Hülkenberg, what a master drive.
Yeah.
Best of the rest.
Drive from him.
Cleared, best of the rest with ease, so much quicker than everyone behind him. Yeah. But unfortunately, that Haas is just so much slower than the top 4 teams.
Yeah. Ferrari cut the gap to 24 points in the Constructors' battle. They can win it by Abu Dhabi.
Easy. I reckon because McLaren haven't looked that great in the last 2 races. I think both races in a row, they're 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
I think Ferrari have been quicker over the 2 races, not much quicker.
Yeah.
But I still think they will be quicker than them in Qatar, but it's just
have to wait and see, to be honest.
Yeah. On the topic of Ferrari, Leclerc after the race crashes out on the radio.
Yeah.
It was a bit strange to see that from Leclerc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strange. Now let's move on to the upcoming Qatar GP.
It's a big race for Alpine to hold 7th in Constructors' battle over RB.
Yeah, I think it's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah.
If one team gets a P8 finish, or if Alpine, who are currently leading, get a P8 finish, I think it's over.
Yeah.
If they can. But never count out RB. Lawson and Sonoda, they've been really good. It's just not a good car. And that's been displayed all year.
Yeah.
Like, it was... you can call Daniel Ricciardo's driving bad, but it wasn't just him. It was also the car being bad.
Yeah. It's a big race for McLaren to maintain their constructors' lead going into Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, if they aren't leading by at least 15 points,
Yeah.
I see an intense last 5 laps.
Yeah. If it even is intense, it could be
just
not good.
No, it could be very stressful for both McLaren and Ferrari fans in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Lawson needs a point finish for a Red Bull seat next season.
Yeah, I think...
Or at all.
I think if he gets one more points finish...
That's good.
I think he's definitely got it. I think if he gets another points finish, it's locked in. Because think about it. Perez in Las Vegas... Max Verstappen clinched the title.
Yeah.
And he finished 10th.
Yeah.
Now, on to Cadillac to race in F1 in 2026.
Which means 11 teams.
Yeah.
Again.
It's not really shocking, but
it's the
to not have Andretti anywhere, even though it's like in Andretti's factories and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit wild.
Yeah. And I know it's not really about them getting in, but some of the rumours about their drivers for 2026. There have been some rumours that Daniel Ricciardo might get the seat. Because
it depends.
They want a new driver and a veteran driver to help the new driver.
Yeah.
Which is almost in a sense what Sauber did. They've got
Hulkenberg.
They've got Hulkenberg
and Bortoletto.
So you have the old one
to teach the young one.
Yeah.
The thing is, do they want to go down that route of Daniel Ricciardo, or do they want to take a different trusted, like, old, experienced driver?
Yeah.
Like a Magnussen, or even, like, someone whose contract is up at the end of that year.
Yeah. Which could be anyone, we don't know by then. And also, what Daniel Ricciardo was doing then. He might have just decided to retire from F1 by then. We don't.
Yeah, like does Daniel Ricciardo want to get back into it if he is offered that job?
Which is entirely possible. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Which he's been in the sport for what?
15 years? No, 14 years?
14 years. Does he plus another year?
Thing is, does he deserve that seat though? With how bad he's been in this era of cars, I don't think he
will also be a different era
deserves
of cars.
it. Yeah, that's a thing. How can he and all the other drivers adapt to the new regulations? Because Ricciardo, it was really once those 2022 regulations came in, he fell off like a cliff.
Yeah.
He just dropped down.
And maybe the 2026 things might be
better for him.
Better for him, and maybe we might get that title shot. That it's a bit far to think about, but it's not impossible. Now onto the race predictions.
P20, I've got a DNF, the very aggressive, soon to be out of sport, Kevin Magnussen.
The reasoning? Too aggressive, or
I think he's gonna try and go for a move that's not there, and with how strange and how hot the tyres get around here in Qatar, I don't think he's gonna do very well.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I've also got Magnussen DNFing. I think same but different, except I reckon he gets an engine failure in the heat. Yeah. Or something to do with the heat. Maybe he gets heat stroke or something like that.
Yeah, a bit like Sargent last year.
Yeah, which is not entirely possible.
Yeah. P19, also DNFing, I've got Franco Colapinto.
Me too! Yeah. What's your reasoning behind it?
I don't know. I think he's being a rookie and not having any hot races, especially going from Las Vegas, which is probably the coldest race on the season, to then go to the hottest. I think he's going to be really struggling to not like black out at all.
I reckon it's the same thing. I reckon it might be first and he actually passes out in the car. Yeah. Which hopefully it's not. Hopefully not, because that is very dangerous. But if he does, hopefully it's not
bad.
Like hopefully he doesn't not get out of the car.
Yeah. P18 now, also DNFing. I've got Esteban Ocon.
Not me this time. I've got Stroll DNFing for my 18th.
I've got Ocon DNFing for a similar reason to Magnussen. I think they're going to try and be too aggressive on too hot of tyres. Yeah. And they're going to spin out and either get stuck in a gravel trap or be hit the wall and just lose their back end.
I reckon Stroll's just going to be an absolute idiot and bin it into the wall like he's done in Saudi Arabia.
P17, the first finisher, Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah.
I just think it was good in Las Vegas.
But not here?
Not here. Back to the same old ways it has been all year for him.
I've got Albon in 17th. I reckon it's a bit of a struggle for him. Just coming after a not very good race in...
DNF'd.
Oh, yeah. I thought Colapinto. Oh, no, because he DNF'd in...
Practice.
No, qualifying.
Qualifying, yeah.
Anyway, he has a terrible race from last week's DNF. Yeah. And doesn't do...
Bit of loss of confidence, is that what you're
trying
to say?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. P16, I've got Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. I just don't think he's going to be particularly quick.
Yeah.
I don't think if he doesn't bin it, he's going to be very slow.
Yeah, I've got Alonso as his teammate. I reckon it's a tough day in the fields for Aston Martins for me, Stroll DNFing. But I mean, Stroll DNFing is just Stroll being Stroll. So
yeah,
take of that what you want to take of that. But I reckon just a tough day for a very young rookie.
P15 being mid as usual. I've got Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
I don't know, just mid. Alpine are mid.
For my P15, I've got Zhou Guanyu pushing it up the field again. Just
up the field, P15.
Well, for them it's up the field. I mean, he's
third last,
but for them that's up the field. Let's be respectful of theirs.
Yeah. P14, I've got the first RB in Yuki Tsunoda. He has not been quick at all this second half of the year.
Yeah.
I think this year's actually been a step down since last year.
Yeah, 100%.
I just don't think... I think he's had a bit of loss in confidence. And also just... I don't think he's sitting with the car correctly as much as he was last year.
Yeah, 100%. For my P14, I've got Valtteri Bottas up the field again in kick Sauber terms, but just shocking from them.
Just mid. My P13, I've got Bottas, so where his teammate was in Vegas.
Yeah, up the field.
Up the field, quite a bit.
Yeah. For me, I've got, in my P13, I've got Esteban Ocon.
Yeah. Mid.
Yeah, nothing else to say about that, to be honest.
P12 now, I've got the second Aston in Alonso. I just think he has the experience to be driving in this heat, but I don't think the car is good enough for him to be a competitive driver.
For my P12, I have Sonoda with his teammate Lawson in P11. I reckon it's so close to the points, but just not the points.
I've also got Lawson 11th. I don't know.
Just a tough day in the field.
It's not just so close to the points they need to get 7th.
Yeah.
But just not quite enough.
Yeah.
And the person they are losing out to is Lawson, for me, is losing out to his biggest rival in the grid, I guess, Sergio Perez.
Yeah, I've also got P10. Perez, which...
He was there last week. I don't think he's going to be getting any better this week.
No. I mean, it's still point to the championship.
One point in the third fastest car, but it's Perez. What do you expect?
And then
P9 I've got Albon.
Yeah.
And you have?
Hulkenberg.
Yeah. I think Albon, he has to have a good weekend.
Yeah, he has to.
He hasn't had one in quite a while, since Baku, really.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a good race, and I do see that changing.
Yeah.
I do see him taking, advantage of everyone with the heat.
Yeah, 100%. My P8, I've got Pierre Gasly. I reckon just to get his confidence up after DNFing in Las Vegas when qualifying in third, which he was unlucky to DNF in that position.
Mate, I don't know how he's done that.
He's done that.
That's impressive. P3 in an Alpine.
Yeah, he's gone from a
podium to a P3 in quali.
And then
DNF.
We don't talk about that side of the story.
Yeah, my P8 is Nico Hulkenberg. I think he's going to have another amazing weekend. He's been amazing all year. You can't argue with that. And I just think he's going to have another best of the rest weekend.
My P7, I've got Oscar Piastri. I feel like the media's kind of died around him a bit after Norris just kind of lost the championship.
Definitely. I've got his teammate in 7th. I've got Norris in 7th for me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be driving with as much meaning now knowing that he can't win the title.
Yeah. Somewhat of the ambition is gone now.
Yeah. Bit of what you're chasing for is not there anymore.
Yeah. My P6, I've got Max Verstappen after winning the championship. I reckon he's just not pushing as hard
as he could be.
But he doesn't need to push.
P6 for me. Sainz, very important P6 to be beating McLaren. I think he's just going to have another solid weekend, as he has been all year, but nothing great.
My P5, I've got Carlos Sainz. I reckon kind of the same thing as you. Needs it to stay ahead in the championship. And I've also got Leclerc in 4th.
Okay. I've got
same reason.
I've got Hamilton 5th. I do think the Mercedes are going to be quick again in Qatar, but I think not as quick. I don't think they're going to be dominant, and I don't think Hamilton will love the heat.
Yeah, especially no driver loves the heat. So.
No. P4 for me, as you said, yours was Leclerc. Mine is Oscar Piastri. I think it's going to be a good race for him. Big points over Norris, but still not enough to beat Leclerc.
Yeah. My P3, I've got George Russell, again quick with his teammate. Hamilton in the 2nd but for me, winning the race, even though it doesn't really matter anymore, Lando Norris.
Oh, there's the only driver left, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just shoot through my podium positions. I got Verstappen third, Leclerc second with a big result to close that gap to McLaren, and P1 in back-to-back races, George Russell.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to have another great weekend. I think he's gotten a lot of confidence from that performance last week, and I see that momentum carrying through into Qatar. Quali predictions now.
You wish to do a quick fire?
I wish. Okay. P20, Joe Guan Yu. 19th Perez, 18th Stroll, 17th Colapinto, 16th Alonso. All out in Q1. Q2 now. Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Hulkenberg and Tsunoda. Ocon is 10th, Gasly is 9th, Lawson takes 8th, Hamilton 7th, Piastri 6th, Verstappen then Norris, Sainz, Russell 2nd and Leclerc P1.
Well done. Thank you for listening to episode 7 of the BWF1 podcast. We'll talk to you again next week for the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for 100 subs, almost 200 subs, as we are filming. Goodbye.